So, excuse me. The project today is I'm going to be swatching paint samples, which is super exciting. I'm in my dining room right now, and I'm trying to figure out what color I would like to paint this. It's very beige in here, which helps bounce a lot of light around in here, and the light quality in here during the day changes and is beautiful like all of the time. So I'm thinking about going to a slightly darker color. So the first color that came to mind immediately was green. And I kind of wanted to do a very classic green, something pretty but muted and not too dark, but also not too light. I want there to be contrast in here, and I want it to complement my pendant light, but I don't want it to distract. I just want it to kind of help pull the room together in a cohesive way. So I might superimpose a little video over top of this. But these are some of the paint chips that I ended up grabbing. So I'm kind of going for a medium, kind of mossy green. And so here from Benjamin Moore, I have Webster green, which is probably going to be hard to see, but superimpose a little separate shot of Webster green here. Then I also have a sample of Benjamin Moore's Fairmont green, which is this bottom swatch here, but you'll see it better when I superimpose my little other video of the swatch. There you go. Then from Magnolia, it's literally called Magnolia Green. So probably looks like magnolia tree leaves, I would guess. So there's that kind of medium green. It's one of the lighter. Then I got, from Clark & Kensington, I got the sample Mountain Greenery, which is this bottom swatch here. And then also from Clark & Kensington, I ended up getting this swatch, which is Soothing Eucalyptus, which I think in the store ended up being the one that I was the most excited about. Words. So really today is just about getting the swatches on the wall just to see how they look throughout the day. Lighting can change in whatever area you're in, so it's important to be aware that you need to put swatches in different parts of the room to see how lighting affects the way that the paint looks. So I'm going to swatch some here first, and then I'm probably going to swatch some, I don't know, maybe over on the opposite wall because it gets different lighting over there sometimes, just to kind of see how everything works. Then I've got a little repurposed coffee can that has some water in it because this is all latex-based paint. It is not oil-based paint. So water is the solvent we'll be using. A little note here, there's nothing wrong with using oil-based paint in the home, but I find that typically people tend to use it on the exterior because the oil helps condition the wood and to seal it and keep it waterproof, whereas that isn't always necessary inside of the home because it's not exposed to the weather the same way the outdoor is. So most times people do latex-based paint on the interior of their home. The other thing to note, and it's probably not such a big problem in here, is that my house is older. So when I bought my house, my realtor, my father, he had to give me a little pamphlet on lead-based paint in homes because my home is old enough that it's more than likely that something in my house was painted with lead paint at some point. So anytime that I'm going to do a painting project, especially on anything that's older, I have to be very careful and make sure that I'm very conscious of what is going on with the paint, making sure that I'm cleaning it up properly. I always have drop cloths down to catch as much of the paint chip, and dust as possible, and really clean up after myself because lead poisoning is not a joke. But anyway, I don't think I have to worry about that in here. This is all I'm going to need to get sanded down. I'm going to need to do some caulking in some areas where the house is definitely settled and some of the woodwork is kind of separating here and there. And then as far as the actual walls go, the wall board, I'm probably going to paint it actually more of a cream color. So this is a creamy kind of yellow-based white, and then my walls are more of a blue-based white. So I think what I would do is take a color like this, put that on the walls, and then have the green here just to kind of bring some warmth in and a little bit of character. So let's go ahead and get started. So I just went ahead and I swatched all of the paint colors. So the first one on the right that you see here is Benjamin Moore's Fairmont Green. Then the next one, Soothing Eucalyptus, which was in my store. It looked really nice, so that was kind of like the one that was secretly my favorite. Then that lighter one between the two darker ones is Clark & Kensington's Mountain Greenery. And then next to that we have probably the darkest of all of them, and that is Benjamin Moore's Webster Green. All right, and then the last one that we have down there is the Magnolia Green. Right over there is Fairmont Green. Then we have Soothing Eucalyptus. Then we have Webster Green. And then I decided to swatch the Magnolia Green over again. It has a really nice grassy vibe to it, or feel to it, that I like a lot. Whereas Webster Green definitely has kind of that moodier feel. But in a larger swatch, I think it's pretty darn dark, so I'm not really sure if I'm crazy about it. Soothing Eucalyptus, I think, is a strong contender for sure. It's quite streaky here, but I'm also using really shitty brushes, so there's that. And then Fairmont Green has kind of that nice mossy feel to it, I think. It's similar, I think, to Magnolia Green, except it's a little bit more brown based as opposed to kind of like a yellow base. And then Soothing Eucalyptus and Webster Green definitely have a little bit more of like a blue, kind of deeper feel to them. So there they are swatched there. I'm gonna go ahead and let them dry and swatch in another part of the room. Alrighty, so I finished painting the swatches. They've been done for a little while, but I really wanted to let them dry. So this is what they look like finished. This is Soothing Eucalyptus. This is Fairmont Green. Then this is Magnolia Green, and this is Webster Green. Alright, it is about 8 o'clock in the morning, on the morning after I've painted, and here we can see the paint swatches in Early Morning Light, which is really diffused, Soothing Eucalyptus, then we have Fairmont Green, Webster Green, and then Magnolia Green there on the bottom. And the colors really do look very different in different types of light. That much is certain. Well again, it has been quite some time actually since I recorded anything for this particular video because it was suggested to me to pick up a couple more samples. My dad convinced me to go to my local hardware store that happens to carry, there you go, which I guess, yes, is an English company, as in United Kingdom, and they're supposed to be really well known for their paint. It's supposed to be real good. So the two colors I got are Caulk Green. I don't know if you can really see that, but it's very much in line with the colors I already have. And then the other color I got is Yearbridge Green, which is a much lighter green. So compared, you can see, so this is Caulk Green and this is Yearbridge. Paint will settle, so you really need to make sure that you give it a good stir before you swatch it, because there's going to be pigment that will settle on the bottom, and then all of the medium, whatever the pigment is, or the solvent, whatever you want to call it, whatever the pigment is mixed with, will kind of rise to the top. Alright, so the first one that I will be swatching from Farrow and Ball is Yearbridge Green. But, you know, I mean, it's kind of fun to just kind of play around and like see what the colors look like. And it's also possible to potentially even match the colors too. So like this one is almost kind of like that eucalyptus color, or like the Soothing Eucalyptus swatch, the paint swatch that I got. I think that was Benjamin Moore, or they're the ones who had that color, because it's almost kind of like a smokier green. This is the Caulk Green from Farrow and Ball. But you can see that we've got Caulk Green here and Yearbridge Green. So the Yearbridge Green definitely is a lot more yellow, or it's casting that way. It's not quite as yellow on the wall as it seems on my camera right now. And the Caulk Green even is more gray. So there's definitely kind of a yellow tinge to the footage right now. All right, so Yearbridge Green, Caulk Green. Here are the others. I messed up the swatches though. I accidentally layered these two colors, so they're not really true to what they are supposed to be, and the lighting is kind of messing that up. So they look the same, and that's because they're layered. Oops. Okay, so I am here to update you on paint swatches, because I recorded a whole video and I just got some new paint swatches recently that I've swatched and I have recorded videos about, but I've actually picked my paint. So I thought what I would do is I would show you all the paint swatches all together, and then I would show you which one I picked, because I picked up the paint today. Wow! Big shout out to my friends and followers on Sunflower House at Instagram, because they literally helped me narrow it down and pick which paint color I wanted to use. So without further ado, let's show ya. Alright, so here are all the paint swatches. The lighting is a little bit brighter today than it was in some of the other footage.
But you can see I had a whole swatch party here. So I started off with the small swatches with my main 4 colors that I picked first, and then I made them larger because I felt like I needed to get a better idea of how that would actually look on the woodwork. And then after I left these up on the wall for a while, not that long ago, I picked up these 2 swatches, these colors, and swatched them. There's a Juno. Hi, Juno. She smells something, so she's not going to pay attention. Anyway, so the color, without further ado, that I will be painting the woodwork of my dining room is this one. Yay! So that one, I had actually put on Sunflower House, the Instagram, that it was a Benjamin Moore paint, but it is in fact a Clark & Kensington paint, and it is called Soothing Eucalyptus. There's the Juno. Hello, Juno. Juno Bear. Anyway, so here is the paint. So I got a paint key, I got obviously the swatch or the paint chip, and I got some stirring sticks, but here we are. This is the paint. It's called Soothing Eucalyptus, and I'm going to be using it just on the woodwork and the paneling that is on the lower half of this wall. I got 2 gallons because there's quite a bit of detail, so a lot more surface area. So 1 bucket or 1 gallon is probably going to be for the first coat, and the second bucket will be for the second coat. I also decided kind of last minute that I wanted to change the color of the actual wallboard, so the drywall above. So right now you can really tell the current woodwork is kind of a cream color, and then the wall color is kind of this cool toned white, which is fine. It's a little bit easier to see in person than it is on the camera, but I wanted to actually put a warmer based white on the wall after painting the bottom half, the Soothing Eucalyptus. So I got 1 gallon because there's a lot less surface area, obviously, to cover there. But we'll see. I might need more, but I don't think I will. I think I'll be okay. But anyway, so that is also Clark & Kensington, and I got that in the color White Roses because it's still fairly neutral but a little bit warmer than the current color.